One.
All right, shalom, shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Tonight we have another Bible Basics. I'll be your teacher, KANASH Yasharahla, and to my left,
Allah Kabar.
Allah Kabar, come. So tonight's lesson is called Becoming a Better Woman, right? Tonight we're going to encourage the women, to do better in this walk, because we know when we come into this walk, and we lived in the world for 20 plus years, 30, 40, 50 years. We have a warped perception of what a woman is supposed to be, how a woman is supposed to act, and what is the role of a woman, according to the Most High God. So this is the basis of our lesson. Give me Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Proverbs 31 and 10. So, sisters, just stick with me. Be encouraged. But we're going to get on y'all tonight. We're going to get on y'all tonight. All right. Give me that Proverbs 31 and 10.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 10. Who can find a virtuous woman?
Right. Who can find a virtuous woman? Read.
For her price is far above rubies.
Right. Read.
The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil.
You see? So it says that the husband is going to trust in this woman all the days of his life, and he will never be spoiled. Why? Because he has a woman that is a pillar of rest that he can rely on, right? And that he could trust in wholly, that she's going to do the right thing, right?
Right.
So first, in order to become a better woman, our sisters have to acknowledge that there's a problem, right? They have to acknowledge that there's a problem first, right? And that they can't think that there's nothing wrong with them, right? And just knowing the situation that we're in, we don't have it all together. We don't, right? What did Michael Jackson say? First, you have to look at the man in the mirror. You have to look at yourself, and you have to give yourself that daily rebuke and chipping away of the things that we've learned in the world, right? Right? Let me get 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Let's get there. So each day is a fight. And I get it. We've been taught a lot of bull crap in the world. And it's nothing new. Nothing's new under the sun. It happened in the beginning. It happened all throughout the Bible. Right? Let's read.
2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith.
Right? Examine yourselves whether you be in the faith. Right? We have to walk in this walk. We have to walk in it, and we have to understand that us just being here and us just thinking that we could just throw on fringes and, throw on the head wrap and throw on the dress and the skirt, right? That I'm good now, You'll find that a lot of sisters, they found their culture, right? But they haven't fully submitted to the culture, right? Read.
Prove your own selves.
Prove your own selves, because you know yourself better than anyone else. You know when you on the BS, right? You know when you're going off, right? You know when you have a spirit on you that's not right, right? So the scripture says, prove your own selves. Read.
Know ye not your own selves?
Know ye not your own selves, right? Read.
How that Yahweh is in you, except ye be reprobates.
Right. Christ called you into this. Because if he didn't, you would be out there as a reprobate. You wouldn't even be in here. So the fact that we have sisters in the truth, right, and we have sisters in the truth that's trying, that says a lot. Because if you didn't believe, then you wouldn't be here. You'll be out in the world somewhere, right? So first, sisters need to start examining themselves, right? Read.
Verse 6, but I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates.
We are not reprobates, right? Because we know this truth, right? And if we're walking in it, we're speaking the truth, right? Give me Romans chapter 7 and verse 14. So each day we have to chip away the old man. We have to chip away the old woman, right?
That's right.
So give me Romans 7 and 14.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual.
Right? The law is spiritual. If you keep the law, you're spiritual, right? Read.
But I am carnal, sold under sin.
But men and women, we're carnal, sold under sin. Read.
Verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not.
Right? Read.
But what I hate, that do I.
You see? Paul said what he hates, he does. Why? Because there's a constant battle in the flesh.
Right.
You know the things that you don't want to do, but you end up giving in to your flesh. Right? Read.
Verse 16. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good.
Right? Read.
Now, then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
It's the sin that dwells inside of us, right? That's why Paul says, examine yourselves daily to know whether you're not in this faith, if you're in this truth or not. Read.
For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
Right? Because in the flesh, there's no good thing. The flesh war against the spirit. The flesh wants to do everything under the sun. But when you come into this truth, you done subjected yourself to laws, and you done subjected yourself to restrain from the things that your flesh wants to do. Now we don't do those things no more, right? Read.
For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not.
Right. Read.
For the good that I would, I do not.
For the good that he would, he do not. Read.
But the evil which I would not, that I do.
That he do. It's a constant battle. So we're fighting a constant battle. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 31. Let's go there. Like I said, we're fighting a constant battle. We have all these distractions in the world, right? They put all these things in front of our sisters to make them go off and make them go to the left. Mm-hmm. Right? Read that.
1 Corinthians 15 and verse 31. I protest by your rejoicing, which I have in Christ Jesus, our Lord, I die daily.
I die daily. Sisters, you have to die daily of yourself. It's no longer about you, right? It's no longer about you. One thing you have to realize is that our foremothers did what was best for the nation, right? They did the things that the Most High had them do to deliver Israel, right? And they use their strengths in righteousness. Our sisters have a lot of power, and they really don't realize it, right?
I got a lot of power, man. Like, you know, I love this scripture because it's so important that we die daily, and you examine yourself. You know, you look into yourselves and see what's weak, and you kill that every day. You know, to add more strength to that. You know, turn away from any way that's controversial to these laws. Anything that this Bible say that the Lord say I'm cool with, then you need to be cool with. You know, that's one of the main things. So if we die daily, we're going to reach that. You know?
Absolutely. And that's the point of dying daily. Get Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Let's read that. So this is the breakdown. This is the breakdown of the family structure, right? And like I said, it's been happening. It's been happening for over 400 years now. It happened in the beginning, right? So our sisters have to look at this, and they have to identify it and realize this is the enemy pitting me against my husband, pitting me against the man of my nation, right? Get Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16.
The book of Genesis 3 and 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow.
He said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows. Read.
And thy conception.
And thy conception.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
Right? Because we know the story, right? The serpent came to Eve, right? And she was beguiled, right? She ate of the fruit. She partook of the knowledge, and she gave it to her husband. Right. And that caused disorder within the family structure, right? Now she wants to, it's just like today. Women go to school, right? They go to school, they think because they have a higher education, right, that they're above the men now, right? Which is not, what the Most High is going to set things back in order, right? Finish reading that.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband. So he's saying, I don't care what these other people told you. I don't care what you've been taught. I don't care what your philosophers told you. I don't care who told you what. At the end of the day, your desire is going to be to your husband. Right? Read.
And he shall rule over thee.
And he shall rule over you. He's going to be your head. He's going to lead you and guide you the right way. Right? Because when we went off, we got kicked out of the kingdom. Right? When Solomon took on many wives of different nations, right? It caused him to go off and the kingdom split. Yeah. Right?
Right.
So we have to understand that it's always the other nations, it's always other people who's trying to influence our women to get them to go off. And if you can pit the black man and the black woman, the Latino man and the Latino woman against each other, then there you go. You have chaos in the community. Right?
Man, that's true.
Let me see. Let's see what one of our forefathers said about this, because I like to get other situations. Give me read. This is Philo right here. We're gonna go into Philo. We're gonna go into Philo and Josephus throughout this lesson, so y'all can know that our forefathers, you know, they knew the same thing. This Bible is real. Page 798, and you can start at the serpent.
Okay. The serpent, having formed his estimate of virtue.
See? So he was plotting, right? Read.
Devised a treacherous
stratagem
against them.
So the serpent had a strategy, right? He was like, this is what I'm going to do. He devised in his mind, right? Read.
Okay. For the sake of bringing mortality on them.
Because we were immortal. We were living forever. He said, I'm going to bring mortality upon them. Read.
But the woman was more accustomed to being deceived.
Right?
Than
the woman was what?
More accustomed to being deceived.
This is what our forefathers knew. This is what the Most High knew. That the woman, right, was more accustomed to being deceived. And that's why the serpent went to her first. Right? Because he knew that if the woman partook of it, she will take it and she will bring it to her husband. Hence, the woman has power. Right? Because what did Adam do? He ate. Even though he knew what will happen, he listened to his wife. Right? So, finish reading that.
The woman was more accustomed to being deceived than the man, for his counsels as well as his body are of masculine sort.
You see? So the serpent wasn't going to come to the man because we're going to shut that down real quick. Right? So he like, I'm going to go to the one that is feminine. I'm going to go to the one who I know I can beguile, and that is the woman. Finish reading that.
And competent to distinguish and notions of seductions. But the mind of the woman is more effeminate, so the thought, so that through her softness she easily yields, and is easily caught by the persuasion of falsehood, which imitate the resemblance of truth.
You see? So our women are accustomed to falsehood. We cannot look past that. So we have to, our women have to get to realize that everybody that's coming to you, right, you have to examine them, right? It says prove a friend, right? If they're not coming with the fruits of the Spirit, if they're not coming out this Bible in truth and sincerity, why are you listening to them, right? If it doesn't have anything to do with the order of the Most High, why are you listening to it, right? So at the end of the day, both men and women, we're suffering from a shared traumatic experience. Both of us, right? We're in this together. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, and let's read verse 16. Or, as a matter of fact, we can read Deuteronomy 28, and let's start at verse 54, right? All right. Baniah, shout out to Baniah, Bishop Baniah. On Friday, he's going to go into becoming a better man, right? So this is for the women, and Baniah got the men, right? So let's read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54.
Let's read that.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brethren.
As we see today, our brothers don't get along. You know, we out here killing each other, robbing each other. Everything under the sun, right? Read. Mm-hmm.
And towards the wife of his bosom.
And towards the wife of his bosom. Read.
And towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Which he shall leave. Read.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege.
In the siege, right? And we know that during the siege of 70 A.D., the Romans came in, right. You know, they destroyed Jerusalem, and it was a great uproar in there. And our people did the most heinous things, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened to the family structure? What happened to our women going off, right? What happened? Who came in? Because at first the serpent came in, right, and beguiled Eve and messed it all up, right? Today, we have a common enemy who pits us against each other, right? And he will do anything he can to stop you from becoming a better woman. And not a better woman for the other nations, but a better woman for your black and Latino man, right? So in the 1970s, right, I want you to read something. Deindustrialization. You got, put it up on your phone. We're going to get into a couple of things, right? And it all was a strategic plan, you know, to get us out of our element, to get our women out of their element, to get them out of their femininity, and to become more masculine and pit them against their husband. Deindustrialization, yeah, get the devil, yeah, right. And in the 70s. I got you right now. I just wanted to touch on this real quick so we can understand how is this going on, right? Read that. Let's read that. It went off?
Yeah, you know what? Is it this one right here?
Yeah. Go ahead. Read that.
In the 1970s, many U.S. corporations began to shut down their plants in high wage areas and relocated them in a newly industrialized.
So these high-paying jobs, right? These high-paying wages and these factories and everything, they started to move them out, right? Hence, our people were working those jobs. Blacks were working those jobs, right? Read.
Cheap labor area of South Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Singapore.
So they took our factory work, they took our jobs, and they gave them to the other nations, right? And what does that do? That strips the black man from having the means to provide for his family, right?
That's right.
So this was a strategic plan for the white man. Now, when a black man or a Latino man can't provide for their families, what happened? Usually, just like in the when the market crashed, a lot of Edomites were blowing their heads off, committing suicide, right? All type of stuff, right? Just like us, when you can't provide for your family, now they stripped our men from the jobs, and guess what they gave the women?
Oh, man, gave it to the women, right?
They gave the women government assistance, right? So now our men can't provide for the women. It is not the man's fault. The jobs are taken away from him. So if the jobs are taken away from him, his power is taken away. He can't provide for his family, right? Now he's embarrassed, right? What is he to do, right? So then what happens next in the 80s, right? The war on drugs. I mean, the war on black people, right? So then you take the job from the man, you put drugs inside of his community, right? Now you have all these men in prison for drug charges, right? Petty crimes, right? It's all a strategic plan to keep us separated from each other, right?
That's right.
We had a time in the 50s where we were together, right? In Tulsa, right? They bombed it. Don't let the black family get together because they're a force to reckon with, right? They don't want to see us win. And that's why our women have to understand it's not pointing fingers. We're not pointing fingers, right? But we have to understand the common enemy that's in play that's pitting us against each other, right? And he's stopping you. Go out and get your own, sis. Be independent, right? You don't have to listen to the black man. He doesn't have anything to give you. Come get this government assistant. If he don't want to take care of his kids, put him on child support, right?
That reminds me of the Willie Lynch letter they came out with. They came out with a letter just to keep us down, man, just to control our women, keep us from connecting to our women and our children and all that, man.
Yep.
I should have brought it.
Absolutely, he goes into it.
Right now.
Let's get you gonna read?
No, it's okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's get Sirach chapter 36 and 25. So we have to understand that we have a common enemy, right? And I understand for my people in the world, you know, they sleep, they don't get it, they don't understand. We're trying to wake them up. But yes, the white man did put this in play to pit us against each other. Yes, the white man did put this in place so that the black family structure, the Latino family structure can be torn apart. But as you come into this truth, the Most High give us the knowledge to come back. There's no excuse, right? He gives us the blueprint of how to become better as a nation, right? Get Sirach chapter 36, and let's read verse 25.
The book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled.
Right? Where there's no hedge, the possession is spoiled. So the man is the hedge for the woman. We're your protection. So when you take the man out of there, right, it's easy for the enemy to come in and get the women and the children and teach them their philosophies, right? It says that the dragon in Revelations threw out mischief like water, right? And threw all this stuff in our face to distract us from the truth. Right? Now what do we have? We have the black woman running the home. Right? Give me Jeremiah. Finish reading that in Sirach.
Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled.
The possession is spoiled. Read.
And he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
Right? So us brothers, we need y'all. Right? We need our women because at the end of the day, I hear a lot of sisters say this, well, men are in control. We don't have no power. You have all the power in the world. When you could cook for your man and you determine whether he's healthy or he's unhealthy, that's power. Because you can either make this man live or kill him. Right? What did a lot of sisters do during slavery? Who was the cooks? Our women were the cooks, right? And a lot of times you had a lot of the slave owners who were poisoned by our women, right? Because they were cooking in that kitchen, right? It's the same thing that our sister Judith did, right? Man. She used her virtue, right? Her beauty for righteousness. That's right. She got into the camp of the heathens, right? Seduced them and everything in a righteous manner and cut his head off, right? And ultimately delivering Israel, right? Our women didn't go, in the script, they didn't go out. Our women want to get online and bash brothers and break down scriptures and try to, the Bible says teach the women, right? And if you're going to go online, right, and then you're going to teach men or try to encourage them.
That's right.
Give them encouragement.
That part.
Right?
That part. Scriptures tell you that in, what is that, 1 Timothy 5:1, that the older woman supposed to be like a brace, a support for the younger woman. That's a big part for our nation.
Absolutely.
You know, that's how you build up children to be righteous, to be virtuous. You know, So y'all can teach. You know, y'all can teach the younger women. Even a younger man, you know what I'm saying? Like, just you know, keep the order. You know, you don't want to teaching the older man and not necessarily the older woman because that can turn into something. You know
Absolutely.
What I'm saying? That you don't want to be wondering and going back and forth in other people's dirty laundry, so to say, because I know how that can happen, you know. But, yes, you guys, women are a very, very, very big part of our nation, you know, to teach, to God, like you said, to encourage other people about this truth. You want to tell them. They may have a question about you wearing your fringes. You know, oh, sister, you know, I see that everywhere. Like, you know, like, man, what's up with that? Well, you should know the scriptures to give them. Oh, okay, hey, you know what? Go here, go there. You know, so they can know your walk. You know, and you help save a soul. You know, you help bring a soul into the truth. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very, very, very. Y'all got important roles, very important roles in this.
They have one of the most important roles in the world. That's to teach our children. Yeah. Because who's raising them to be princesses and kings, right? Right. Who's showing them the holy law of our forefathers, right? That's right. Because the women, you know, they taught our children in the wilderness. How you think our men became kings? Just like in what is that in Nehemiah, I believe. It says that the children couldn't even speak the Jews' language. It said they spoke in the half language of Ashdod, right? And that's because they were learning the language of the heathen. Why? Because they had heathen women, and they were teaching them this nonsense, right? So if you can't speak the Jewish language, you're not getting the things that the Most High will have them do. So guess what? You have a whole nation of worthless children, right?
So yes, man, that job is so
It's
vital.
important.
It's so vital to teach the younger women and the younger kids, because I mean, just by you teaching them, they gonna know what kind of man to get, you know,
Yep.
or for the younger man, what kind of women to get. You know, we have brothers and sisters all throughout the Bible. They always ask their parents, you know, about getting a wife or getting a husband. You know, we need to bring that back in our nation, because now we got our children. They go and next thing you know, I'm married. He's like, oh, who is this? Who is that? Don't even know who they are. But if you're in their life and you're teaching them, they're gonna feel some kind of comfort and know how to come to you and ask you. You know. So yes, please
Right.
take
So
that very serious.
so watch this. Give me Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 31, and let's read verse 22. So we got the black women leading the home now, right? After all the stuff that we've been through the crack epidemic, you know, the breakdown of the black family home. Now we got our sisters running the household, right? A lot of, let's read that, Jeremiah 31 and 22.
31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
You see, so the Most High said, the daughters of Zion they're backsliders, right? Read. He said, how long will you go about, right? Read. Because women think that this makes them superior. This makes them the head of a man, right? Read.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
The Lord have created a new thing in the earth, right? Read.
A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. That's not normal, right? And it's strategically done, right? But he said, how long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? So you being above the man, that's you backsliding. You think you're going forward, but that's backsliding. Right? It's destructive. Read.
Verse 23. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as yet they shall use this speech in the land of Judah and in the cities thereof, when I shall bring again their captivity. The Lord bless thee, O habitations of justice and and mountain of holiness.
Right. So now we have our women running the household, right? They're leading they're leading financially. We have our women, our men in the prison complexes, right? And they occupy a great percentage of the population, right? And now our women are running rampant and they're doing whatever they want to do, right? Give me Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. We've seen what a single mom, and don't get me wrong, right? You have single moms out there that's doing their best to raise their children, right?
That's right.
But a majority of these single mothers are not doing a great job, right? Even the women who have a husband, weak husbands, right? These children are still turning out to be monsters, right? For example, you have Jada and Will, right? And you have Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Look at their children. These are weak men, right? This is an example of the women running the home, letting the man letting the woman run the home, and then it results to this. have the children cross-dressing, have the kids don't have no type of identity of self, right? They have a chemical imbalance. They don't know what they are. They don't have a purpose in life, right? This is what happens when the black woman or the Latino woman or the Israelite woman leaves the home. It's not a natural thing, right? The Most High wants to set this back in order, right? Let's read Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 44. Read that. Give me Isaiah first.
All right. Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
As for my people, children are oppressors. How are children our oppressors, right? I don't know if y'all see it, but these children out here nowadays are complete monsters, right? They have no regard for elderly people, right? They have no regard for their elders, period. They have no regard for the rules, right? They have no regard for regulations, right? I seen a video online, and there was some kids beating up their grandma, kicking on her, beating her with a pan, right?
Wow.
Their mother raised those monsters, right? And I didn't really feel sorry for the grandmother because guess what? The grandmother raised the daughter, right? And she didn't do a good job. Something had to happen to her daughter to make her kids do the things that they did to her mother. That's sad. Monsters, right?
Monsters.
Right? And then somebody said that the father was there. He's a weak man, right? I would never let my child disrespect my mother ever in my life, right? Finish reading Isaiah. Children, read from the top.
As for my people,
read.
Children are their oppressors,
right?
And women rule over them.
And women rule over them. This is the result of single-parent homes. The women are ruling over these kids. These women are showing these kids what to do. It's okay if little Timmy is out there wearing a bra, putting on his mama heels, right? It's okay if you got the parents. I seen this other one. The parents at a basketball game and they having a twerk contest in front of all the kids, right? 9 times out of 10, these are single women, right? This is what not listening to the Most High have gotten us. Finish reading that.
And that's the thing, we gotta see, like you just said, this is the happenings of not listening to the Most High. We gotta seek the kingdom first. We gotta put these commandments, we gotta put these laws first, so these things won't happen. That won't happen if you just line up to the commandments and to the laws. Have a righteous husband. Do your works. Examine. Both of y'all got to examine yourselves, whether you be in this truth. Or if not, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have kids disobeying you, cursing you out, beating you up. Y'all don't want that, man. You don't want that because then that just leads to hell. You're going to go to hell. They're going to go to hell, most likely. It's a sad ending. So we got to do our work. And don't take this lightly. Not take this lightly. The man is a very important role to the household, and so are you. But you got to line up to these commandments. You got to get with the Lord.
A man is not going to let his children get away with half of the things that the women do, right? And that's why it's a balance. The women are feminine. They're nurturers, right? They're there to nurture the children, and that's their role, and that's fine, right? It's a balance. It's all a balance. I'm gonna be the hard one. I'm gonna get on them, and you're gonna be the soft one, and you're gonna console them.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is.
That's right.
Give me Sirach 33 and 19. Now, I heard this one brother say, and I agree with him. He said he was at a basketball game, right? And the DJ had the nerves to play Usher, Shawty, I don't mind. If you dance on the pole, that don't make. He said he walked up to the DJ booth and he said, turn that off. He said, if you play that again, I'll flip this DJ stand upside down. How you out here promoting this to these kids? Are you crazy? Right?
Another new song, huh?
Just wickedness, right? Let's read, did you finish reading Isaiah 3 and 12? Let's finish reading Isaiah 3 and 12, and then we'll go to Sirach 33 and 19.
Oh, my people, they which led thee caused thee to err.
They that lead you, right, cause thee to err, right? Read.
And destroy the way of thy path.
And destroy the way of thy path, right? We got to do better, women. We have to do better. And there's give me Sirach.
Was that 33:19?
Yes, Sirach 33 and 12.
33 and 12. Sirach chapter 33 and verse.
No, Sirach 33 and verse 19. I'm sorry.
And 33 and 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest.
All right. So a man is not supposed to give his power unto a woman, just like it says in Proverbs 30 and 1, right? Don't give your strength to women, Lemuel, right? Give me Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 44. Now, as a result of this, you have sisters in the world out here twerking, doing the most. They have all the free time in the world to twerk on the internet, show their assets and whatnot. Listen to Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion. All these new rappers are set up to make our women go left, right? The divestment movement. Women, black women and Latino women, well, mostly black women, are leaving black men and dating outside of their race, right? And a lot of them is talking about, oh, I dated this man, but he wasn't right for me because of this zodiac sign and this and this and that and the third. Okay, so you say you're a Christian, you believe in God, but he can't change you. Your zodiac determines who you are. The Most High can't change you, right? A lot of women lost their soulmate because they listened to a zodiac chart. You missed out, sis. Now, you got with the wrong dude, you twerking on the internet, you break up, now you get dolled up, you dress half naked on the internet, and you're showing your tail. Right? And now you're just attracting the same man that just left you. Right. Because all he wanted to do is get what's under there. That's it. That's it. Ezekiel 16 and 44. 16 and 44.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee.
Right? They're going to use this against our women, right? Read.
Saying, as is the mother.
As is the mother.
So is her daughter.
So is her daughter. Whatever you do, just know that your daughters are watching. They're watching, and hence this is who we got. A whole lot of women out of order, right? Prostituting themselves, right? Let's get this excerpt from Philo. So this is what our forefathers did, and this is what they were accustomed to doing. We're not supposed to allow this in our community, right? We're not supposed to allow this within the Israelite home, right? That's why the Most High commands our women to be modest, right? Read.
Moreover, there are other commandments relating to the altar. This injunction also is very admirable and properly set down in the sacred tables of the law, that the wages of a harlot are not to be received in the temple, and is as much as she has earned them by selling her beauty, having chosen a most infamous life for the sake of shameful gain.
Right? She chose the most infamous life for shame. It's shameful. And what do our women got? OnlyFans, right? You see everything on Instagram, right? Leading a shameful life. It has no substance behind it. And they wonder why they get bad men. They wonder why they can't get the right man. Because you're attracting what you're putting out, right? Read this one. They said that's a shameful life. And like Bishop Tazayawan said, you go on Fig right now, you see all these young women out there selling their tails. Right? And it's getting worse and worse. Read.
Man. Very often in truth times has put an end to the occupation of a harlot.
You see? Our forefathers put an end to those occupations. You have some who dabbled in it, but when you have righteous kings come up, they put an end to that. Right? Read.
Since when woman has outlived their beauty, no one any longer approaches them.
Right? Read that again.
When woman has outlived their beauty.
When a woman has outlived her beauty, you go out there and you abuse yourself with all these men, right? And you don't settle down, right? You even got sisters in the truth that do it all the time. They run from camp to camp, sleeping with different brothers, not telling what they did, right? And just abusing themselves until eventually, because they don't want to follow order. Well, he did this, so I'm not following that. Oh, he got another wife. I'm leaving. Bye. I'm gone. He doing this. I'm out of here, right? And they go back into the world and they abuse themselves, right? Read.
Sin to sin. Man. Okay. When women have outlived their beauty, no one any longer approaches them.
No one approaches them, right? Read. This is our forefather Philo. He putting you up on game. Read.
Their prime having withered away like that of some flowers.
She just lived her prime doing all type of wickedness, right? Read.
And what length of time can ever transform the harlotry of a soul which from its youth has been trained in early and habitual incontinence? Habitual continence.
Right. So they've been trained up from their youth. And that's why I said Ezekiel 16 says, Ezekiel 16:44, as the mother, so is the daughter. Right. They see their mother doing this. Now they're being trained up to do the same thing. And 9 times out of 10, the kids come out 10 times worse. Yeah. Right? Read.
Yeah. Man. Have been trained in early habitual incontinence, so as to bring it over to good order. No time could do this but God alone, to whom all things are possible, even those which among us are impossible.
Right? So even then, you got all these men out here, they talk about women, the Kevin Samuels, what's the other one? It was another one that I mentioned. They talk about black women all the time. But at the end of the day, you can say what you want. A woman ain't gonna get this, a woman ain't gonna do that. The Most High said you could change. You could change. And the only way that will happen is that if you submit to the Most High God.
That's right.
And he will change you all the way around. Right? And somebody will want you. And somebody will be happy to take you on. Yeah. But if you're acting as that virtuous woman, as that submissive woman, as that feminine woman, it's crazy because the feminist movement teach our women not to be feminine. That's insane. Right?
It is.
It's crazy. Give me Sirach chapter 26 and verse 12.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 12. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he have found a fountain and drink of every water near her.
Right? She's going to open her mouth as a thirsty traveler. Wow. This is poetic. If y'all know where it's going, you know where it's going. Right? Read.
By every hedge, she will sit down. And
by every hedge, she will sit down and do what?
And open her quiver.
And open her quiver where the arrows go. Read.
Against every arrow.
Against every arrow. Come on, any man can have it. Our sisters is not supposed to be acting like this, right? Especially in the truth. Especially if you say that you're reformed.
That's right. Especially
if you say that you're in the faith, right? This is not supposed to be going on. Let me see. I might pull this later. I'm gonna hold off on it. I'm gonna get through this right here. Lamentations 4 and verse 1. Let's go there. Because with all this going on and our sisters acting out of order and doing the things they do, the black man is the most disrespected person on this planet Earth. No one is disrespected like the black man because no one cares about the black man. If anybody that should care about the black man, it should be the black woman, right? It should be the Israelite woman who care about the Israelite man.
That's right.
Right? It's not if you have a high-paying job and if you earning all this money that you're leading the home. No, you take that money, and if you have a righteous man, because a lot of these women with money, they get bums. You get a bum who sleep on the couch, and that's what they want because they don't want nobody telling them what to do with their money, right? So they get bums, right? Because he's going to be there for a season, and she could get deed down and everything, right? And, she could buy him a little gifts and everything, and she's just satisfying her flesh, right? And then after the day, she boots him to the curb and then get another man, right? Mm-hmm. But as an Israelite woman coming to the truth, you make more than your man, you can use that for good. If you seek out a righteous man and you know that this man have good ideas, right? And you see that he has a mind that thinks and he's innovative and you could put money behind him to back him to get him in a better position. Why not do that? Use your gifts, right? That the enemy try to use as a curse. Use it for righteousness for your Israelite man.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
We got to do better. Get Lamentations 4 and verse 1.
Lamentations 4 and verse 1. How is the gold become dim?
Right? How has the gold become dim? The gold is not shining no more, right? The gold is not put out in the forefront like people like to wear. They like to wear the gold and floss the gold, and they want to see it shine, but it's dim. The gold is dim, right? Read.
How is the most fine gold changed?
How is the most fine gold changed? How are they changing this fine gold? Why is he put to a lower state? Read.
The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
Right? Now, these stones are poured out in the top of every street, right? Our women got the gold in their hand, right, and they just waving it. Who wants it? Mm-hmm. I don't need it. It's nothing. Toss it. Throw it. I don't care about it. Right? Read.
The precious sons of Zion.
The precious sons of Zion. Your God calls your man precious. The precious sons of Zion. Read.
Comparable to fine gold.
Comparable to fine gold. But this gold has gone dim. Right? Because our women have not polished it. They haven't been that pillar of rest to sit it on. Right? Read.
How are they esteemed as earthly pictures?
How are they esteemed as earthen picture? It seemed like we living in the days where in Ezekiel, I believe it's 7:19, where it says they will throw their gold and silver in the streets, and nobody will regard it.
Right. Right.
How have they come as earthen pitchers, right? Which no one cares about, right? Read.
Verse, okay, yeah. The work of the hands of the powder.
Read.
Verse 3, even the sea monsters draw out the breast.
Right? Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They feed their young. Even though they're cruel and vicious animals, they feed their young. They feed their own. Right? What are you nourishing your husband with? What are you nourishing in yourself to become a better woman for a future husband? Right? What are you looking into? How are you spending your time? Right? Read.
They give suck to their young ones.
They give suck to their young ones. Read.
The daughter of my people is become cruel.
The daughters of my people have become cruel. They have become cruel to their man. They have become cruel to their sons. And they have become cruel to their daughters. Forget a man. I don't need a man. I'm dating outside my race. I'm going to the white man. Right? You got all these black men and black women dating outside of their race, going to white people, and they ending up in somebody's basement chopped up.
Right, right. That's happening a whole lot.
It's cool. You could divest. You do whatever you want, right? But the scriptures are plain and clear. The Most High said, leave those heathens alone. They will be a thorn in your side. And they will destroy you all the days of their life, and all the days of your life. Right? I don't know. It was a show called Them, right? And I like that show because in the beginning, it was the husband. The husband was in the military, right? And he came back from the military, and he was suffering from PTSD, which a lot of us suffer from, right? Through 400 years of slavery, we got PTSD. Shoot, we got PTSD just living in our own neighborhoods from gunshots going off, seeing people's heads being blown off, depending on where you grew up, right? So this man had PTSD, and he was tripping out, and he was going through stuff, right? And he was fighting in his head. And one thing that I realized is that his wife didn't say, forget this nigga. This nigga's crazy. I'm leaving. She nourished him, and she comforted him, and she brought him back to his rightful state of mind. She nourished him back to life. That is what a woman is made for. She brought him back to life.
That's right.
Right? And he didn't forget that, because later on in the show, when they moved to Compton and all these white people, they start trying to get him out the neighborhood, the wife start going crazy. The wife start going crazy. She start being in her head, and she start seeing things and going through stuff. And the daughter is like, Mommy is crazy. And what her dad say? Don't worry. We're going to get her back. And he brought her back, right? He made sure that he was there for her. Baby got killed and everything. She was going through a traumatic experience. Both of us are going through it, right? But as the men, we have to stand up and be strong, protect our nation. And as the woman, you guys have to be feminine, right? You have to be those nourishers to bring us back to life, to bring us back into a healthy state. What did Deborah do, right? She encouraged Israel. She encouraged the men to fight. All of the women in the civil rights movement, right? Harriet Tubman. We have all these great women who fought for the rights of us to bring us back to a right state, right? We got to get back to that, Israel. Finish reading that.
The daughter of my people has become cruel like the ostrich in the wilderness.
Like the ostrich in the wilderness. Read.
The tongue of the suckling child cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst.
Right, read.
The young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them.
Right, so the children are being nourished. And the Most High is comparing our women to an ostrich. Ostrich don't care. Just trample all over their eggs. They don't care. And that's how our women have become, right? We got to do better. Give me Isaiah chapter 30, and let's read verse 7. We're stronger together, Israel.
Yeah, yes, we are.
They told you don't need the black man. Yes, you do. Because at the end of the day, the scriptures say that everybody is going to go to their own people. And I feel sorry for the sisters who's talking about, I'm divesting, I'm going today. Well, where are you going to go? They're saying black men are not, they're saying they're not going to protect us. Then, well, guess what? When the stuff hit the fan and it's time for us to go our separate ways, don't come over here asking for help, because we ain't going to help you.
Got to stop living that curse.
We ain't going to help you.
When you break out that way of, that Edomite way of thinking, what they implanted in your mind, you won't be saying that the black man ain't going to take care of me. You're going to know we got your back. We're going to know we love you and we care for you. If you're going through Yahweh Shai, you're going through this Bible and keeping these commandments, then you're going to know you got a righteous man. You're going to get a righteous man. But if you ain't doing that, then, yeah, you're going to be like, oh, man, this and oh, man, and that and this and that, all this negativity. But that ain't the way, that's not the structure of the Most High. That's not how we got it laid out for you, So you shouldn't be thinking like that. You shouldn't be thinking that that's what you're going to get. But if you're out there acting out, not keeping the commandments, doing what you want to do, doing what feels good to you, then guess what? Satan's right there, giving you all negativity, all these negative men, all this other stuff that you like. You feel like you can't fix yourself. You can't get right. You don't want to be that person. So just keep the commandments, stay in line. Ask leadership if you want to try to get at somebody. Because that's another thing. People, they do things on their own. You should get counseling. Ask for counseling. Ask for get counseling. You want to make sure you stay, because the leadership, they know what their man is up to. They know the congregants here. So if you in a congregation and you want somebody to get with, hey, you may want to talk to leadership. Bring it up.
Yeah, if you interested in him, why are you talking to him? Go to his leaders.
Right.
Go to the men of the congregation. Go to the women of the congregation and ask, how is this man?
That's right.
Oh, and sure enough, they'll tell you.
Oh, yeah.
They'll tell you exactly who the man is.
Yeah.
So you don't have to second guess. Now you got wicked camps out there that hold these wicked Negroes down, and they don't care. Yeah, sis, he a righteous man. When he is the devil the Bible speaks of, but
right.
You got to do your research.
So, yeah, do your research and don't slack off on your proving. Prove who you dealing with. That takes time. Some people, they jump into it too fast. You see a man or you see a woman that they look good, and she look good to you, he look good, and so on and so forth, and you go out to prove each other, and you feel that hey, you proved them long enough, and you have not. Again, you haven't asked leadership, you haven't gotten no counseling, and then you're going off on a date somewhere, knowing that, hey, you've been burning in the flesh. Why would you do that? Knowing you're burning in the flesh, and those desires rise up, next thing you know, you're married. You're coming back to the congregation, hey, I got a wife, or, I got a husband, or we married, but now, guess what? You stuck with that person. Hey, that's your head now. Your desire is just to him. So now you can't get mad if something is not going your way, or hey, you didn't go through the right courting process. You was moving too fast. So let's not make mistakes. Let's be very careful when it got to do with, our soul. And this is a lifelong thing. It don't end. It don't supposed to end. Once you lay down with somebody, you got to take up those responsibilities.
You lay down, you stay down.
Right.
Let's read Sirach 26 and 14. Sirach chapter 26 and verse 14. So, yeah, brother made a good point. You got to go about proving brothers. And like the lesson is, becoming a better woman. Before you even seeking a man, seek to become a better woman. Examine yourself to see if you submitted to this word wholeheartedly, right? Read.
Sirach chapter 26 and verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. A man love that, right? Is it saying that she can't speak or she can't talk? No, she's not contentious, right? Read.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
A mind well instructed. We're coming back. We're coming back, and we're submitting to our roles, right? The man is taking his position, and the woman is taking her position, and now she should be willing to be instructed by a righteous man. Listen, if you're being led by a wicked man, I'm sorry, sis, but you chose him. You didn't do your due diligence to prove this man, right? There's righteous men out there. There is righteous men out there. But like our forefather Philo said, our women are drawn to falsehood. They're drawn to illusions and delusions, right? They want to believe that this is right. They feel that it's right, right? But it's not, right? The heart is deceitful above all things.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So
now I'm just saying, and if you did get with a wicked man, are you stuck with a wicked man? Then do your due diligence to try to make things right. Don't try to run from the situation. You can't run from the law of the Most High. If the law of the Most High says you all to stick together, death do you part, then your best thing is getting back, finding that man, and trying to get him in the congregation, if he's not in there, and trying to get him right, trying to get him righteous. You know what I'm saying? So things can go right for you, or else things going to continue going left.
What do the scriptures say? Have anybody who trusted the Lord and they trusted in the Most High in their faith, was they ever confounded?
That's right.
Right? Nobody. Right? We always talk about the sister Abigail. She had a wicked husband, but she maintained her righteousness to a T. Right? She made sure she was that righteous and virtuous woman. Right? Even though he talked crazy or he was a foolish man, whatever, she still fed the man. She still gave him she still gave him nourishment. She did all that until she couldn't do it no more, and he got put to death. Yep. Right? So how much do you trust in the Most High? Right? How much faith do you got to endure? Right? Right? We ready to walk out after the first week. Right? We don't want to endure our mates. Right? Let's finish reading that.
Sirach 26 and 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord.
It's a gift of the Lord. Right? Read.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
A mind well instructed. A woman who listens to the law of the Most High and is instructed in righteousness and doing all she can to please the Most High, Yahushai, and if she has a husband, to please her husband. Right? Sirach 25. No, give me 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 20. Right? Nobody likes a woman that's full of words. A man don't like a woman that's full of words. It's grievous. That man is ready to go about his day and like, man, let me get some peace real quick. Right? Let's read that. 1 Samuel. I'm sorry. 2 Samuel 6, and let's read verse 20.
2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 20.
So we know the story. The story goes, King David got the Ark of the Covenant. He brought it back to Jerusalem, and now he's partying and he's giving honor and thanks to the Most High God who delivered it into his hands, right? Read.
Right. Then David returned to bless his household.
David returned to bless his household, right? He blessed everyone in his household. He brought back gifts for his household. He blessed his wife, his kids, everybody, right? Read.
And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David.
Right? And then Michal came out to meet David, right? There's nothing like a woman to kill your buzz. You out here, you having a good time, right? And you worshiping the Lord, you doing what you're supposed to do, and then it's just a nag. Right? Read.
Came out to meet David and said, how glorious was the king of Israel today.
Now, watch. She played on her own insecurities, right? Insecure, right? David is not even thinking about it because, mind you, let's get what she said. Just finish reading.
Okay. So, and Michal came out. Okay, sorry. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David and said, how glorious was the king of Israel today.
How glorious was the king of Israel today. She's being sarcastic, right? Read.
Yeah. Who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants.
Right? So she's saying you covered the eyes of the handmaids, right, of his servants, right? Read.
As one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovered himself.
Right? So she's saying you uncovered yourself in front of the handmaids. She's thinking about other women, right? David is not worried about these other women, right? We know about David.
That's right.
When David wanted something, David got it, right?
That's right.
David wanted Bathsheba, and guess what he did? He got her, right? Wickedly, right? Because after that, the Most High destroyed his own house, his whole household, right? He started having all type of chaos in his house. But David wasn't worried about these handmaids. She was. Right? Read.
Verse 21. And David said to Michal, it was before the Lord, which chose me before thy father.
So I want you to remember something. It was the Lord who chose me over your father, who was wicked, right? Read.
And before all his house,
right? Read.
To appoint me ruler over the people of the Lord, over Israel.
Come on, read.
Therefore will I play before the Lord.
He said, therefore I will play before the Lord. He said, I'm going to have a good time before the Lord, right? Read.
And I will yet be more vile than thus.
And then David said, I'm going to be more vile than this. Right? Everybody loved King David. But David said, I'm going to be more vile than this. If you don't like what I'm doing right now, I'm going to show you. Read.
And I will be base in my own sight, and of the maidservant which thou hast spoken of.
Right? So he's saying, since you want to talk about the maidservants, which I'm not concerned about, but you are, read.
Of them shall I be had in honor.
Right? So if you don't want to honor me, these handmaids are going to honor me. You don't have to honor me. That's fine. Right? And for that, I'm not going to give you honor. Read.
Verse 23. Therefore Michal, the daughter of Saul, had no child until the day of her death.
Until the day of her death. She didn't have no children. Harsh. Right? But it's crazy because men in the truth are more lenient than our forefathers. Our forefathers were ready to just be done, right? Ready to be done. How you doing, sis? Okay. Give me Sirach chapter 25. Give me Sirach chapter 25. Our forefathers didn't play, and I say this all the time. The way we endure our sisters, our forefathers wouldn't have had it. They wouldn't have went for it at all. And this is not about strong arming, and this is not about, putting our women down or anything, but there's an order, and there's a strict command and a strict rule that the Most High, the man is the head. Whatever he says go, at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? And the woman is to follow, because at the end of the day, when like it says, when there's no hedge, the people are spoiled. When the man is not there, anybody could come in and just tear you up, right? Right? We don't have no problem listening to our boss on our 9 to 5, right? We don't have a problem listening to our boss on the 9 to 5. Whatever he say, even if you have an attitude, you're going to smile and you're going to do it because you want that check at the end of the week, right? How much more should you honor your husband, right?
We want salvation, right?
Salvation, that's the end goal, right? Sirach 25, and let's read verse 20.
The book of Sirach, chapter 25, and verse 20. As the climbing up a sandy way is the feet of the aged, so is the wife full of words to a quiet man.
See, hold on one second. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man. You got an old man walking up the sand dunes. You know how hard that is? You know how much his body is hurting?
Oh, yeah.
I got to go up this, when I go to work, I got to go up this 5-story ramp. It's a parking structure. I got to walk up there with my bag. I'll carry it up there. I'll be like, oh, my legs be burning and everything. I'll be like, dang, this mess hurt.
Right.
It says, that's just like a woman that's full of words to her husband. It says a man who would have rather dwelled in a corner on the top of a house than to keep in house with a contentious woman, a woman who's always nagging her mouth. It's no good, right? Read verse 23.
Verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart.
So it says, she maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. Mm-hmm. She turns that man's life into sorrow, right? Read.
A woman that will not comfort her husband.
A woman that will not comfort her husband. Read.
In distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees.
Maketh weak hands and feeble knees. What? A lot of our sisters, right? You got a man out here trying. There's men out here that try their best, and the system just won't let up.
Right.
Nigga, you ain't ish. Nigga, you this. Nigga, you that. You ain't doing nothing. Not only is he fighting the world, he got to come home and fight you. Right? Read that from the top.
A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance, and a wounded heart.
A wounded heart. That man can't get a break. Read.
A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands, and feeble knees.
Right? If you just can't comfort your husband when he's having a bad time and he's going through it, he's fighting the world, he's going out, he's teaching the people, right? Just like I think Malcolm X said this. A man going out fighting the world and teaching, he got to come home and change diapers, right? He out there doing what he's supposed to do. Why is the help asking for more? Why is the help asking for more help than the one that needs help? The help is the help. Women ask for more help than men, right? When she's supposed to be our help. I hear women say this, well, I'm not going 50-50. The Most High created you to be a helpmeet. If that man say go 50-50 with him, go 50-50 with him. You're his help. You're supposed to help him, right? You're supposed to help him and help each other get ahead, right? But if we have this independent mindset, You have a single man over here and a single woman over here. She's paying full rent. He's paying full rent. When we could come together and pay a half of that, pay half of that, pay a portion of that.
In conclusion, two cannot walk unless they agree.
Come on, absolutely. Two can't walk together unless they agree. You're absolutely right. And that's scriptural, right? Read verse 23. Did you read 23 already? Yeah, read verse 26.
Oh, 26. Okay.
Yeah.
If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce.
Right? So it says, if she go not according to how you want her to go, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce. Right? We know we can't divorce our wives. Right? Mm-hmm. But if she's not going the way that you want her to go, something's going to have to give. Mm-hmm. Let me get this excerpt from Philo. Let me show y'all something real quick. I'm just showing y'all how our forefathers were, right? Read this. So this is a time where Josephus, he's being accused of, sending weaponry to the Allies, and the Romans are trying to get him or whatever. And it's just going through his life and the things that he's been through, right? He had multiple wives, he had divorces, he had other wives, and so on and so forth. Let's read that right there.
About which time I divorced my wife also, as not pleased with her behavior.
Right? So he said he divorced his wife because he wasn't pleased with her behavior. Right? Read.
Though not till she had been the mother of 3 children.
So he had 3 children by this woman, right? It's no new thing under the sun. It's happening every single day. Single parent households. Why? Because we don't want to submit and we don't want to get it together. Men don't want to submit to God, and the women don't want to submit to the men. Right? Read.
All right. Not till she had been the mother of 3 children.
Right. So what did he do? Read.
2 are whom are dead, and 1 whom I name Hyrcanus is alive.
Right.
After this I married a wife.
Right. After this he married another wife. So did he go back to the one that was giving him problems? Let's see. Read.
Okay. After this I married a wife who had lived at Crete, but a Jewess by birth.
Right. She was a Jew. Read.
Yeah. A woman she was of eminent parents.
Right. She was of eminent parents. Right. They were good parents. Right. They had a good reputation in the city. Right. Read.
And such as were the most illustrious in all the country, and was character, and whose character was beyond that of most other women.
You see, her character was beyond most other women. So he didn't go back and get the same. He wasn't creating that cycle, right? He wasn't going towards the red flags, right? He got somebody that was of good character. He checked out her parents. What do the scriptures say? As the mother, so is the daughter. He made sure that the parents checked out, and he got him a virtuous wife, right? We want to encourage our sisters to do better and be that pillar of rest and be that righteous woman for a righteous man, right? Give me Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12. We have to understand, well, what about the man? What about this? The man be doing this and the man doing that. This is what the scriptures say. Philippians 2 and 12.
Philippians chapter 2 verse 12. Wherefore my beloved, read. As ye have always obeyed.
Who did you come into this walk for? Did you come into this walk for a man? Did you come into this walk for other sisters? Or did you come into this walk because Yahweh Shai called you, right? And you want to be better, right?
That's very important. Wherefore my beloved.
Read.
As ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation.
Work out your own salvation
with fear and trembling.
And with fear and trembling. Don't worry about what everybody else doing. Make sure you're working out your salvation with fear and trembling. And we got to stop blaming each other for our mishaps. We have to look in the mirror as individuals and say, I want to be better. I want to be a better person.
That's right.
I want to submit fully to the Most High God, right? That's good. Give me Galatians chapter 6, and let's read verse 2, right? Because I touched on the divest movement a little bit. And black women says that they want to free themselves from the burden of black men, right? Are black men a burden? I think we're both a burden to each other because we don't practice the laws of the Most High, but we're a burden to each other.
That's right.
Right? Let's read Galatians chapter 6 and verse 2.
Galatians 6 and 2. Bear ye one another's burden.
Bear ye one another's burden. We have to bear each other's burden in the righteousness of the Most High in Christ, right? Read.
And so fulfill the law of Christ.
We're going to fulfill the law of Christ, right? We're going to do what's right, right? So I'm not seeking to leave the Israelite woman, and the Israelite woman shouldn't seek to leave the Israelite man.
That's right.
We should bear one another's burden. We should identify the problem within ourselves and fix it. We have the blueprint, right? Mm-hmm. Give me 1 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 84. Let's read that. Because this is the Most High said. You can divest all you want. You're going to divest into a ditch. Read verse 84. First Ezra chapter 8 and verse 84.
First Ezra 8 and 84. Therefore now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons.
Right? You don't join your daughters to their sons, right? You want to keep it in-house. Read.
Neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons.
Don't give your daughters, right? Don't give your daughters to their sons, right? Read. Or your sons to their daughters, right? Read.
Moreover, you shall never seek to have peace with them.
Don't seek peace with them. Oh, I'm leaving the black man because I want peace. Mm-hmm. Every race want to get their hands on the black woman, right? I posted that scripture in Judith, where it says that the heathens looked at Judas and they said, how can we despise a people who have women that look like this? All the nations want our women because we have the most beautiful women, right? But our women want to go seek peace with these heathens, and they ain't getting no peace, right? Finish reading. Yeah, finish reading.
Moreover, you shall never seek to have
peace with them, right? Read.
That ye may be strong.
So you could be strong. So what makes us strong? Being together.
That's right.
Right? To hell with the divest movement. Read.
And eat the good things.
And eat the good things, right? Read.
Eat the good things of the land, and that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore. So we can, and that's the most important thing ever, the inheritance, right? What do they do in the industry? When they know these white men, they train their white daughters up, right, to be this helpmeet, right, to be this virtuous woman to a black man. Yep. You see that athlete right there? You see that big, black, strong Mandingo guy right there? Mm-hmm. I want you to go get him, yep. Right? For real. Yeah, for real. And they be like, he's going to be a star. He's going to be great. Yeah. So what do? They train their daughters to be submissive. They train their daughters to do everything that the black woman won't do for their man,
right?
Yeah.
They're in class doing their homework. They make sure that he can be the best that he can be. He doesn't have to worry about his homework. He can go on the field and conquer,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
This is what they do. They train their daughters up to do this.
Yep.
Our women are not training our daughters up to be the best they can be for a righteous man, for a good man. So what do? They end up giving these black entertainment stars. They get with these white women, right? And where do their inheritance go? Straight back into the white family, right? Because all she did was use her femininity. That's it. She was just feminine. She just did everything that he wanted her to do.
Yeah. They even had
He did a lot of things that the black women said they won't do. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm too pretty for that. I ain't doing that.
Man, taking it. Just taking
You
it
could
out.
do it yourself. But the they train their white women to do it.
Yep.
Right?
Time.
Now, I'm going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that Israelite women get it right. I'd be doggone it if I go get a woman of another nation.
No.
We could do bad together. I'm going to love the black Israelite woman, Latino woman, no matter what.
That's right.
No matter what. But it's a fight. We're gonna keep chipping away. We're going to make sure you get right. Right? Because we want you and we want you to get right. Period. Give me Jeremiah 29 and verse 6.
Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 6. Take ye wives and begot sons and daughters.
You see what the Most High said? Take ye wives, right? And begot sons and daughters. Read.
And take wives for your sons.
And take wives, give your wives, take wives for your sons, right? Read.
And give your daughter to husbands.
Give your daughters to husbands. We're not raising our daughters up to be baby mamas and get baby daddies. He said, train your daughters up to get husbands. This is what we want. We don't believe in boyfriends and girlfriends. We believe in husband and wife, right? Right? We matchmaking over here, right?
That's right.
Read.
That they may bear sons and daughters.
So they can bear sons and daughters. Read.
That ye may be increased.
So we can increase.
Increase there and not diminished.
And not diminish, right? Was that it?
That's it.
So at the end of the day, this is what the enemy don't want. He don't want us to get together. He don't want us to bear children. Hence, that's why you have Planned Parenthood, right? Then you have a new law that passed in California, right? A woman can neglect her baby 7 days out the womb, and if the baby dies, she won't be charged as a criminal.
Oh my goodness. Living in hell.
Right?
Real.
Right. So this is the plot. COVID, pushing the vaccine on our people. They want to destroy us. Right? And they continue to do it. Right? So women, you have to understand now is the time, right, to dwell. We need you basking, right, in your femininity. Give me Philo. I'm going to run through this real quick. Right? So let's just touch on things for the women and being in their feminine state. Our women, I have a lot of sympathy for our women, right? Because our women haven't had a chance to be feminine, right? But this is a safe place. This is a safe place. You can be feminine over here. We want you to be, right? 262. No, this is 3. All right. The role of the woman and the role of the man. This is fresh. So, Start at 262, 97, right here. Let's read that.
Okay. On which account Moses also committed the preparation of the sacred works of the tabernacle.
So Moses preparing the tabernacle of the Most High, right? Philo is giving an account of what the men did and what the women did, right? Read.
Not only to men, but also to women.
So in the building and the decoration of the tabernacle, he didn't only just give this to men, he gave it to women as well. Read.
Who were the aid in making them.
Who were the aid in making them, right? Read.
For all the woven works of hyacinth colors, and of purple, and of scarlet work, and of fine linen, and of goat's hair, do the women make.
Right? So the women, they were into sewing. They sewed the men's garments, right? They sold all the drapes and tapestries for the tabernacles, right? That's something that our women should get into. As a nation, as a sisterhood, brothers always need garments, right? It's time to dig in that bag and get sisters together and start doing garments. Get into your feminine state, right? Read.
And they also contribute their own ornaments without hesitation.
Right? Without hesitation. So they had their own ornaments and they gave it willingly to the temple without hesitation. Sisters, it's time to work. Get in the congregation and work. Put your work in willingly. Put your work in willingly, right? Most people be like, this is gold. I'm not giving this up. This is expensive diamond. They said they gave their ornaments willingly. Our sisters need to be the same way. Read.
Without hesitation.
Without hesitation. Read.
Seals and earrings.
Seals, earrings. Read.
And finger rings.
Finger rings. Read.
And armlets.
Read.
And tablets. And all jewels of gold.
Right? What did the Most High say in Isaiah chapter 3? He said, I will strip the daughters of Zion all of these because they have become haughty. Right? These are women that are not being haughty. They're giving their service willingly. They're not twisting and turning their neck saying, nigga, I don't need you, I don't want you. They're helping the men build. Read.
Everything in short of which gold was the material.
Right?
Gladly giving up the ornaments of their person in exchange for pity. And moreover, carrying their zeal to a still higher degree. They likewise consecrated even their mirrors, that a laver might be made of them.
Right? So they gave up their mirrors so a laver could be made, right? You know our sisters. They like to look in the mirror. They want to see their beauty, right? They gave their mirrors up, right? You can't have my phone. Selfie, right? Read.
In order that those who were about to assist at the sacrifice, washing their hands and their feet, that is to say, those works about which the mind is occupied.
Right, so they're washing hands and washing feet, right? Read.
And under which is fixed may have a view of themselves in a mirror according to the recollection of those mirrors of which the laver was made. For in this way they will never admit anything disgraceful to remain in any portion of the soul. And now they will dedicate the offering of fasting and patience, the most beautiful and sacred and perfect of offerings.
Right? So they're going to exercise fasting and patience. Sisters, fasting and patience. And this lines up with our foremothers, right? Judith, Susanna, right? All our foremothers, Esther, right? They fasted. They had patience, right? They exercised patience, right? Anna, she exercised patience. When Tobit went blind, she didn't say, oh, this nigga blind. I can't. No, it says that she went out and she got woman's work.
That's right.
And she helped provide for her household. Patience, right? Get page 611. Let's go to this other one real quick. Yeah, I'm going full through right now. 611, and then you're going to read 169 in parentheses. Let's read that.
All right. Marketplaces and council chambers and courts of justice and large companies and assemblies of numerous crowds.
Right. So this is the occupation that were of men. Right. Read it from the top.
Okay.
Philo is going into it. Read.
Marketplaces and council chambers and courts of justice, large companies, assemblies of numerous crowds.
Right. So our women have the luxury to be in these positions, right? Be lawyers, be in the courthouses, and so on and so forth in these higher positions. But these were originally given to men, right? Read.
In a life in the open air full of arguments and actions relating to war and peace.
Right? So men are out debating, right? Talking about war and peace and everything else, right? Read.
Of war and peace are suitable to men, but taking care of the house.
But these are suitable to men. The talk of war, debating, and all. These are suitable to men, right? Read.
But taking care.
And hold on, let me mention, when women get in this position, they get high-minded and they think more of themselves, right? And they start to diminish and they start to take on a character of masculinity, right? Read.
But taking care of the house and remaining at home are the proper duties of a woman.
Right? Read that from the top.
But taking care of the house.
Taking care of the house, right? Being a keeper at home. This lines up with the scriptures, right? Read.
And remaining at home.
And remaining at home, not being a busybody, not going out, but not saying that you can't go out, but doing your proper duties at home, right? Read.
Are the proper duties of a woman.
Are the proper duties of a woman. Read.
The virgins having their apartments in the center of the house within the innermost doors.
Right, so the virgins, they had their apartment in the center, right, of everything. Read.
And the full-grown woman not going beyond the vestibule and outer courts.
Right, read.
For there are two kinds of states, the greater and the smaller. And the large ones are called really cities, but the smaller ones are called houses.
Right, read.
And the superintendent of the management of these is allotted to the two sexes, to the two sex separately. The man having the government of the greater,
right,
which government is called a polity, and the woman of the smaller, which is called economy.
Right, economy, right, read.
Therefore, let no woman busy herself about those things which are beyond the province of economy.
Right, read.
But let her cultivate solitude and not be seen to be going about like a woman who walks the streets in the sight of other men. Right,
so our women are supposed to practice being feminine and not doing the most in the street, right? Read.
Except when it is necessary for her to go to the temple.
Right.
If she has any proper regard for herself, and even then.
If she has any proper regard for herself, read.
And even then, let her not go at noon when the market is full.
So it says, don't let her go at noon when the market is full, right? This is what women do who want attention, right? Read.
But after the greater part of the people having returned home, like a well-born woman, a real and true citizen performing her vows and her sacrifice in tranquility, so as to avert evils and to receive blessings.
Right. So a woman acting in her feminine role, right? I'm not gonna get that. No, I'm not gonna get that. Give me Philippians. Let me see. I'm gonna get a couple more, and then I'm gonna close it out. So the crazy thing is that our women, you know, it's more boisterous right now. If a man can't take me on a date, if he can't do this, if he not buying me food, if he not paying the bill, da 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 da. The crazy thing is that when you see it in the scriptures, and you know, our grandmothers did this, that when they wanted a man, or if they seen a man that they found interest in, what did they do? They cooked for him, right? They gave them food, showing that she brought a pie, or she brought something to show her interest, right? Right? Acting in her feminine state, right? And it's crazy because Abigail fed David, and she didn't know that was going to be her husband one day, right? Give 1 Timothy chapter 4, and let's read verse 8. No, I don't want that. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6. Let's read that.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure. So
she that liveth in pleasure, if you living in pleasure, everything is for the turn up, everything is for the bag, everything is for the gram, everything is just vacation this, vacation that, you just indulging in pleasure, right? Read.
But if she liveth in pleasure, she is dead. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Sis, you already dead. Because all you live for is pleasure, right? You're not living for the Most High, right? Get Titus chapter 2, and let's start at verse 1.
Titus 2 and 1. But speak thou the things which become doctrine, sound doctrine, that the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, and patience.
Right, read.
The aged woman likewise.
That the aged woman likewise do what?
That they be in behavior as becometh holiness.
You have to, the older women have to be in behavior as becoming holiness because the younger women are looking up to them. Read.
Not false accusers, not given too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women.
So women do have a role. It's to teach the younger women, right? If you're dabbling in men's affairs, you're not doing enough to teach the sisters. How can you be teaching the younger women if you're dabbling in men's affairs, right? Read.
That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
Right, read.
To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands.
Obedient to their own husbands. Why?
That the word of God may be not blasphemed.
So the word of God may not be blasphemed, because a lot of times in this truth, women act out of order with their husbands, and you got the outside looking in like, oh, she an Israelite and she acting like that. You're blaspheming the word of God. The Most High will judge you for that. Right? Read.
Young man,
no, That's it. That's it. I don't have time to touch on a topic that a sister wanted me to. But I'm gonna just say this, and in a nutshell. You haven't fully submitted to the word of the Most High if you have a problem with what the Most High say is lawful, right?
Right.
Polygyny is lawful. Give me Sirach 26:6. How could you want what's best for your sister if you don't know what's best for yourself? If you're still fighting the war within yourself, right? Read.
Sirach 26 and verse 6. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
It's about a woman that is jealous over another woman. There's nothing wrong with this Bible, right? Polygyny is not flawed, right? Polygyny is not bad, right? It's people who are flawed and it's people who are bad. This has nothing to do with polygyny because at the end of the day, marriages are failing, women are out of order in monogamous relationships. So it has nothing to do with anything, right? So one thing we got to understand is that the Most High, he has laws to govern polygyny. It's lawful, right? When it says kings, don't multiply wives and horses to yourself, the king only can have one horse, right? No, he's just saying don't be excessive, right? Let's get Matthew chapter 25, and I'm gonna leave it off with this, right? Polygyny is absolutely lawful, right? And you have to begin to rid yourself of your own self-will and your own insecurities to let the Most High rule in your life, right? At the end of the day, there's too much care about what people think and what people are going to say, right? You're not immersed in the culture like you should be, right? Not every man wants multiple wives, but most men want another wife, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, you're going to leave your husband because he got another wife, right? Especially if this man is doing everything that he does to provide for you and lead you and guide you, right? And you go off by yourself, and now you just left for the enemy to come and destroy you, right? Everything is a fight. Everything is a daily battle. It's crazy because we want to get we want to be in a position where we could pick and choose what we want to do when it comes to the 3 P's: polygyny, pants, and patience. Women don't have no tolerance for it. We'll find every single reason, right, to make the scriptures fit what we want, right? When the scripture doesn't say anything about it. If we want to wear pants, we're going to find a way to make it scripturally right. But it's crazy, right? We'll find loopholes. Well, I have to wear pants because my job told me I had to, right? And it's ultimately because you're getting some good money, right? So the things that you want to do and you want to comply with, you don't have a problem with that. But if you don't want to comply with it, you don't want to. It's just all about checking your spirit.
That's right.
Right? That's all it's about. Get Matthew chapter 25 and let's read verse 1. This is Christ, right? And at the end of the day, if we have a problem with what Christ uses an analogy, right? He uses polygyny to describe the kingdom. And I think this is profound because I give people this scripture all the time, and they don't say nothing about it. They just leave out the conversation and just leave it blank. But Christ is clearly saying that he's okay with it, right? Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet their bridegroom.
Right? They took their lamps and they went to go meet the bridegroom. And the story goes, the 5 foolish, they didn't prepare themselves. They were too occupied and slumbering and sleeping and dabbling in other matters and not keeping their candles lit and not keeping the commandments wholeheartedly, right? Read.
And 5 of them were wise, and the 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them.
Drop down to verse 7.
Verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps.
Right, read.
And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out.
They said, give us your oil, right? Give us some of your oil because ours is gone out. We haven't been diligent. We haven't been patient. We haven't submitted ourselves to the law, statutes, and the commandments to keep our candle lit, right? To keep our light shining bright in this truth. Instead, we submitted to our emotions and to our feelings, right? Read.
But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you.
Right? They said, not so. It's not going to be enough for us and you. Sis, I'm not about to miss my husband, period. Read.
But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves.
Right? Now, drop down to verse 10.
Verse 10, while they went to buy, the bridegroom came.
Right? So when they left, here come the bridegroom, right? And this is the man that they're going to marry. These 10 women, right? Read.
And they that were ready went in with him.
The ones that was ready and said, I don't have a problem with polygyny. I'm ready to go. I got my commandments. I got my fringes on. I got my mind intact. I got my head on straight. I'm ready to go in. I'm ready for this. I don't have second thoughts. I'm not, seeking the world. I'm not thinking about what other people think. I'm on the straight and narrow. I'm ready to go into that marriage chamber. Read.
Okay. The bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the doors were shut.
And they went in with him to the marriage, these 5 women, and the door was shut. They married this one man. It's lawful. It's lawful. Sisters got to check their spirits. Men out here, they cheat all the time. And I tell brothers this, give a sister an option whether she want to deal with it or not, right? She want to deal with it. Be straight up, be honest. As Israelites, as men, we have to be honest. But at the end of the day, sis, you're not going to stop a man from getting another wife, right? Your forefathers had other wives. Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. The reason why you're here today is because 4 women had the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's
and
right.
they all decided to get it together. People talk about Rachel and Leah. Well, they had problems and da-da-da-da-da. But if you read in Ruth was compared to Rachel and Leah, where it says these 2 who did build the house of Israel. Rachel and Leah, at the end of the day, they got it together and they built the house of Israel, right? And that's how we became kings, right, in our nation.
That's right.
So what are you talking about that it works? Our women just don't want it to work. Truth be told. So at the end of the day, ladies, we encourage you to do better. We encourage you to be the woman that the Most High wants you to be. We're not going to be the Eve in the garden. We're going to be the new and improved Eve of today. And we're going to make sure that we rid our spirit of the things that's tainting it. We're going to stop, BSing, and we're going to stand firm in these laws and stand firm in what you believe in. And at the end of the day, your family, I don't care what, we already in this truth. Your family, you in the coat, you this, you that, whatever. Your life has been more better in this truth than it's been in the world, right? Let the Most High work through you. Let the Most High renew your mind. Check your spirit on a daily. Give your spirit to patience and fasting and do as your foremothers did. Go read about your foremothers and see how they dealt with situations, right? Susanna, when she was accused of sleeping with these two elders, she didn't go pop off out the mouth and say, oh, y'all niggas is lying, nigga, you lying, nigga, you whack for lying. No, she fasted to the Most High God. The Most High sent a prophet, Daniel, to plead her case and put these evil elders, wicked elders, to death, right? So, sisters, be patient. Be patient in your endeavors and keep striving to be the best you can be for the Most High, and hopefully if you're single, potentially for a husband. And with that, I say shalom.
Shalom.